Darko, it's 60 years since the European Festival Association itself started, but Ljubljana Festival has been a member of that association for almost, in fact, more than half that time. What has it meant to you to be a member of that association? Before you were president of it, but what has it meant to you to be a member?
Oh, for us at that time, I personally joined '93, but Festival Ljubljana, I think already 78. It was a window to Europe and to the world. Because as you know, at that time we were living in former Yugoslavia. Of course, it was a different type of society system. But still, as Denis de Rougemont said already in '52, the culture was helping us to get in contact with the other world and with the audiences, the artists. So it was for us very important.
And how do you think that it's changed over the years?
Oh,
you've been, as I said, a member yourself for nearly 20 years. So
yeah, it's true.
How has that changed, do you think?
It changed a lot. At that time, our main office was in Villa Monnier in Geneva, and we had very long board meetings for 2 or 3 days. Almost no women at the meetings, and I think I was like a boy between all other very serious men and members of the board and the president and vice presidents. But I learned a lot. I can say for myself that I am a living example of last 20 years of association, with all good and good times and not so good times sometimes. But still now I'm really proud when I see association really strong, open, moving, present everywhere, not only in Europe but also worldwide. So I really think that this time, not only my personal time, but also time of all others working for free in the association, was really fruitful and spent on the best possible way. And now, of course, we are facing the result of this last decade, when we moved to Brussels, to Ghent, to European Union, and at that time some of our members were not completely sure that this is good move, good solution, but now we can say for sure that it was one of the best, probably the best decision after its inception in '52, that we moved from Geneva to Brussels. And also this was in the spirit of Denis de Rougemont and Igor Markevich.
The interesting thing about that move and the way that it refocused the association itself, it seems to me, is that it meant that increasingly it was seen not just as a sort of international club, but became much more focused on dovetailing with the European Union and with the wider Europe in a way that it couldn't really have done sitting on the shores of Lake Geneva.
It was very nice to sit in the beautiful park next to the Pearl of the Lake. This is the very good restaurant near Villa Monnier. But Europe changed and the world changed. So, of course, I think also that the time of sophisticated international clubs is over. So in this globalization, with this electronic revolution, of course, everybody have much more information, and the work is faster, the mobility is much better than before. And of course also at that time we still did not have mobile phones, and computers. So it was really, when I look back, it was really something like medieval time, but it was only 20 years ago. So it's really huge difference, and thanks to vision of IFA board and also Secretary Generals, we are now here where we are. That we are, I honestly say that we are modern, fresh network with many members, with a lot of activities, with strong connection to European Union Commission for Culture, that we are partner in European culture policy, and of course that our activities helps a lot to all our members, but not only members in their local communities. And this is very important, because this was also important for at that time for us, for Ljubljana, and it's still important that to be member of this association gave us and is still giving us better credibility in our local situation.
One of the things that's interesting too is that while the festivals themselves have always been international in their programming, now the association itself is becoming much more of a global player. You're doing far more networking with other continents, other parts of the world.
Yeah, that's true, and it's I have to say it's a big challenge, and it's very pleasant also, because you see that there is a need of networking also in other continents. So we help to establish Asian Association of Festivals. We are in regular contact with ISPA, also Australia and New Zealand. Just recently we had meeting with Ibero-American Foundation. So also in Africa. So it is, I think, need of people in this time for creativity. Of course, we are all facing, except BRIC countries, a recession, but still with creativity, I see programs every day better, richer, more interesting. So it seems that a recession it's helping us. Of course, this is not true, but it's true that with less means, we should be much more creative than earlier to achieve the same goals.
What do you see the Festivals Association being like in not 60 years' time, but at least in 30 years' time?
It's a good question, but time is going so fast, so this is near future. And I just wish to association and to all our members and to all festivals to be as active, productive and brave with a clear vision as in last decade, and I think that we don't need to worry about the future. The societies are bringing content to the networks and to the festivals itself with their actions, with their moving, with their mobility, and their desires and wishes. So I think we just have to be inside of the movement, and everything will go in the best possible way.
And personally, in your time as president, what have you enjoyed most? What's given you the most satisfaction?
The meetings with colleagues and the enlargement of the association. I think this is the most important. And then, of course, every year when I see that again we were able to fulfill all the obligations, all the plans, and when I can sign with clear conscience the positive financial result in the end of the year.
Do you find that you personally, professionally, have grown through the contacts that you've made through the association? Do you think you're a better festival director now than you would have been if you had not been a member of the association?
I'm better not only as a festival director but also as a personality with every contact with one of our members or non-members. So we are learning all the time, and still it's very, very interesting that after almost 20 years being in association, it's still not boring for me. Every time I can hear something new, I can learn something new, and I think this is really an advantage of this association.
Nadin, do you want to? Yeah, I have one question. You just said that you think the future, Europe's future is, or the future of the IFA is rather positive for you, but everybody still is talking about this European crisis at the moment and saying that it's not only an economical crisis but much more. And first of all, do you agree that Europe is in crisis, because you are, like, as you said, like more than 20 years now in this, working on the European level, and you saw much more than the recent 2-3 last years? And secondly, what the future role also of such of the IFA on the global level? You mentioned that you build up on the global level much contacts, and there are other associations. What do you think? How this collaboration can look like? Because I think there may be associations that are still a bit afraid of this powerful European cultural networks. Or don't you have this feeling?
So about the crisis, it's here. Of course, it's not only economical. I think that economy is always consequence. So it's maybe crisis with values, or crisis with discipline, I don't know. But of course, finally become an economical crisis, and this can be very dangerous. In former Yugoslavia, we had such an experience, and it, as you know, finished with war. But still, after all these countries in that region, they should live together again, and we cooperate, and even during the war, the festivals cooperated all the time. So, but crisis can also be a creativity process, and I meant this when I said that I'm not worried for the future of the festivals, and also for the future of the association. And your second half, the question was?
The global networking.
Ah, yes, I have it. Yeah, it's normal consequence after globalization of the world. And it's not only European culture, I would say. It's now we are bringing also a lot of cultures from other continents to Europe. I would say that we are not selling or how to say, teaching others how to do the culture. I think that we are learning one from each other, and also what is really important is exchange of the culture, that we can bring to our audiences culture from different continents, and if they do understand their culture, if they do understand the religion, I'm talking now about intercultural dialogue, so of course then we will have in the future less problems, less conflicts, and I hope less wars.
We have, as part of the slogan for the 60th anniversary of the Festivals Association, the idea of transforming people. Do you think that that is something that European festivals really can do and have done over the last 60 years?
For sure. In at least 3 levels. In personal level, I think we transform nearly everybody who we are in touch with. Secondly, politics. Some of them really, they don't think a lot about the culture and the vision. But if we have chance to be in contact, or if we take the chance to be in contact with them enough, we can change this. And the third level is economy. Again, when I speak with our sponsors, but I think every festival director has this experience, it's really important that they feel the added value in the culture, in the contact, in how to say, in social importance of every society. And I think festivals can help a lot. And I see in our case in Ljubljana that we started 20 years ago with little amount of money and some small group of sponsors, but now they are paying, they have majority in our balance. So you see, if you work permanently with your with the group of people who is really crucial for what you do, you can have huge success. But of course you have to go on, you have to educate, you have to invite, you have to show, you have to promise, and you have to keep it.
I have another question. If you would now build up a new festival, or if somebody is building up a festival, would you advise this person to become a member of an association like IFA from on the very beginning, and invest perhaps the little money they have to become a member, or should festivals be rather well established, and from on which stage does it make sense as a festival director to say now?
Oh, they have to decide themselves. Not from very beginning, because I think first of all they have to get some experience how they did, how the local community accept it, and then of course when they grow they will feel the need to join, because you need to exchange your thoughts, you need to exchange your experience, and it's like in school, bigger you are, more you want to know and learn. And of course IFA is place to do this. So and I don't think that if we compare with the service we provide, with the website, with all the contacts, with meetings like regular meetings with Commissioner for Culture, or with atelier for young managers, and with all other activities that with all the books we issue, that this amount is too high. It's high, but not too high.
The atelier about training the managers of the future seems to me to be something that not many professions have as part of their European networking activities, and yet it seems to me to be one of the most hopeful and transforming aspects of IFA's work.
It's true, and it's very successful, and we are doing it this year for the 5th time in this form. It was done 2 times before already in different form, but with the same idea. And I have to say that we don't do it only in Europe, but it's worldwide. It was in Singapore, in Izmir, in Poland, and the proof that what we are doing is right is that we have participants from all over the world, also from the countries we never thought that they will hear about IFA, like Jamaica and others, but they are coming to our ateliers, thanks of course also to the very high level of lectures, and also I think because we really dedicate 1 week, that means 7 days of 24 hours to them. This is not teaching, it's again exchange of ideas, and also is exchange. We exchange youth and experience, and I think this is the best possible way how to do it for the future.
And have you seen, as a result of that, new young managers are coming through the system, and there's a new dynamic, a new sense of energy coming to their programming?
Yeah, but the result is astonishing. Look, there are so many now in leading positions in world festivals. So we are really proud about the idea and how it goes. And I'm personally also proud that this year we are going to do it in Ljubljana in October, also celebrating 60 years anniversary of our festival.
Have you seen programming change? Do you think that festivals are becoming different animals, or with the different sorts of audiences than they were a few years ago?
I think that the successful festivals are always a head audience. If you just want to fulfill audience taste, then I think this is not the good way how to proceed, because immediately you can find yourself behind the audience, and then audience is leaving you. I think that the task of artistic directors, but also not only, also general managers and boards in the festivals, is to give, to present to the audience something new. And of course you have to risk sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but I think this is the task of the artistic directors, to be brave and to go on with fresh ideas.
If in the future all our advocacy, all our lobbying, all our appeals to sponsors worked an amazing transformation, and you suddenly found that your festival had 4 times the budget that it does now, what would you do with it?
I don't know, but for sure I will think about seriously and maybe create some new festival with really special focus on special artistic idea.
Darko, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great.